Welcome to our channel. Today, we will be discussing the Hangar 18. If we were to talk about the most impactful UFO event in human history, it would undoubtedly be the Roswell incident. It is said to have changed humanity's perception of extraterrestrial beings, leading people to connect UFO phenomena with aliens. Many individuals debate the authenticity of this event, often overlooking a crucial piece of evidence. At the very beginning of the incident, the U.S. military claimed to have captured a flying saucer. However, the next day, they suddenly retracted this statement, stating that it was a high-altitude weather balloon used for secret surveillance of the Soviet Union. This sudden shift in explanation caused public expectations to plummet from the sky to the ground. At that time, the military even held a press conference to clarify the event. One famous photograph from this event shows General Ramey, the commander of the U.S. Fort Worth base, and Major Jesse Marcel from the 509th Atomic Bombardment Group investigating the incident, standing in front of a pile of weather balloon debris. The location of this photo is the commander's office at the Fort Worth base, with no media present on site. Instead, it was taken by a military photographer for distribution to the media as a press photo. Possibly, in an attempt to quell public opinion at the time, the photographs were hastily taken. This rush resulted in General Ramey holding a memo that he didn't have time to put away, and some of its contents inadvertently got captured in the frame. However, the text on the memo was extremely blurred, making it nearly impossible to discern, so it went largely unnoticed. This photo has also been archived in the National Archives and Records Administration, where anyone can access and download it. It was unexpected that over 50 years later, someone utilized advanced computer analysis software to decipher the content of the memo. To their astonishment, they found that the memo not only mentioned a flying saucer disc, but also referenced a location called Hangar 18. So, what other explosive content does this memo contain? What secrets are hidden in Hangar 18? Today, let's delve into this mysterious Hangar 18. In 1947, a rancher in Roswell, New Mexico, discovered many silver metal fragments on his farm and promptly reported them to the military. After the military collected the debris, they found wreckage of a flying saucer and several alien bodies in a desolate area tens of kilometers away from the ranch. Upon the military's announcement of the discovery of a flying saucer, the media immediately began reporting on it. The local newspaper in Roswell featured this explosive news on the front page, using the then novel term, flying saucer, causing quite a stir. Consequently, the military held a press conference the following day, claiming that what was found was just a high-altitude weather balloon. This is the origin story of the famous Roswell incident. However, some people still believe that what crashed to the ground in the Roswell incident was indeed a genuine flying saucer, along with several alien bodies. At the time, there were various speculations about where the Roswell wreckage was hidden. When it comes to aliens, everyone is familiar with Area 51 and the stories of aliens being hidden there. Area 51 is known as a secretive testing ground for advanced aircraft development and is rumored to have mysterious underground facilities. It is also a no-fly zone for the Air Force. This nuclear weapons testing site in Nevada is considered an ideal location for storing alien bodies. However, Area 51 was established in 1950, 3 years after the Roswell incident. Therefore, if there are indeed flying saucers and aliens stored in Area 51, they must have been stored elsewhere before that. One of the most valuable photos from the Roswell incident is of the then commander, General Ramey, crouching on the ground, holding a small piece of paper, which is believed to be the memo containing instructions. However, this photo is extremely blurry, making it nearly impossible to see what is written on it with the naked eye. Given that this was in 1947, the photographer likely couldn't make out the contents either, and thus the photo was released. However, in 2004, someone found the original negative of this photo in the National Archives and Records Administration and posted it online, offering a reward of $10,000 to decrypt its contents. Many people who saw it at the time were puzzled by this blurry image and questioned how it could possibly be deciphered. However, a visual decryption expert named David Rudiak accepted this challenge and, with the help of advanced optical character recognition software, turned the impossible into the possible. He deciphered most of the contents of the memo, shocking the public by revealing that the rumors of flying saucers and aliens were indeed true. The memo reads, Washington Air Force Headquarters acknowledges that a disc is the next new find a wreck near the operation of Ranch. The victims of the wreck immediately transported by B-29 or C-47 to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Later today, several high-altitude weather balloons will be sent out. Upon seeing this, if this decryption is accurate, the Roswell incident can essentially be confirmed. Of course, anyone can try to decipher the memo in the photograph, especially given the increasing strength of AI analysis capabilities nowadays. It is believed that there will be even greater discoveries in the future. So, what is inside Hangar 18 at Wright Air Force Base mentioned in the memo? The memo refers to a location at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base codenamed Hangar 18. Why is this Hangar 18 so mysterious? It is because even ordinary soldiers are not allowed to enter this hangar at Wright Air Force Base, and the military has never disclosed what items are stored inside this hangar. However, such information never remains completely secret. Therefore, as early as the 1940s and 1950s, rumors began circulating about Hangar 18 at Wright Air Force Base being the official storage place for alien bodies and wreckage of flying saucers. And until 2004, General Remy's memo was decrypted, further validating the claims about Wright Air Force Base. This made many previous rumors seem real. Wright Air Force Base is located in Dayton, Ohio, and is a massive military facility. The base employs 27,000 military personnel and is home to the U.S. Air Force's 88th Air Base Wing and the Air Force Materiel Command. It is also one of the 9 major commands of the U.S. Air Force, overseeing the research, development, testing, and procurement of weapon systems, as well as providing technical support for all Air Force fighter jet engines. Therefore, from this perspective, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is one of the best places to store UFO wreckage. The full name of Wright Air Force Base is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The Wright in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base refers to the Wright brothers, who invented the world's first airplane. In 1903, at a site called Wright Field, on the Wright Base, they conducted the world's first controlled aircraft flight, even before their official first flight. The Patterson part honors the legendary American test pilot Frank Patterson, who tragically lost his life in 1918 while test flying the first American fighter plane, the P-1 Hawk. In commemoration of these two individuals, the base was named Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, one being the site of the first human-controlled flight and the other being where the first American fighter plane was test flown. Therefore, choosing this location to store the wreckage of the first discovered UFO seems quite fitting. After the Roswell incident, the United States initiated a significant program in 1948 known as Project Sign, where the U.S. government authorized the U.S. Air Force to investigate UFO phenomena. This program later evolved into the famous Project Blue Book and was conducted at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Therefore, the notion of the secretive Hangar 18 housing UFO wreckage and extraterrestrial bodies is not unfounded. In 1988, U.S. Senator Barry Goldwater, who had a keen interest in UFOs, had an interesting conversation with the then Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, 4-star General Curtis LeMay, who was known during World War II for his statement about turning Tokyo into a burning hell. Goldwater expressed a desire to visit Hangar 18 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, but General LeMay angrily refused. He told Goldwater that not only could he not enter, but he should never bring up the subject again. This response significantly heightened public interest in Hangar 18. It is said that all UFOs that crashed in the U.S. were first transported to Hangar 18. Later, the reason for transferring UFO wreckage to Area 51 was primarily for the development of reverse engineering of the craft, as they needed a location for test flights. Thus, some of the wreckage was moved to the S-4 base at Area 51. This is why there are always reports of UFOs and aliens coming from Area 51, which serves as a site for the Air Force to develop secret aircraft. It has vast tracts of alkali flats, which are no-fly zones, tight security, and sparse population, making it very suitable for testing flying saucers. We have a photo of Hangar 18 from back then. It's evident that Patterson Base was quite desolate at the time. Let's search for the current appearance of the base on Google Maps to see if we can find this hangar. Once we locate the base, we zoom in. Here is a row of hangars, but this one isn't it. This is the base's terminal. Neither of these is it. Let's try the other side. There is a cluster of hangars. At first glance, these two seem somewhat similar because they both have triangular roofs and a similar gate design. Considering it has been over 70 years, this hangar has likely undergone some renovations. So, the one on the right should be Hangar 18. But what does the interior of Hangar 18 look like? Apart from these oral recollections and descriptions, there is no visual evidence. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base has strict security measures for access, ensuring the secrecy of these warehouses is maintained and not disclosed to outsiders, including their own personnel. So, has anyone ever leaked information about what is inside Hangar 18? Well, indeed there have been leaks. At the time the Roswell incident occurred, all wreckage was immediately requested to be transported by a B-29 bomber to Hangar 18 at Wright Air Force Base. During that period, an aircraft engineer named Robert Porter was responsible for the maintenance of that B-29, thus he was involved in the recovery of the Roswell incident wreckage. According to his recollection, he was tasked with placing small triangular fragments into paper boxes about the size of shoeboxes, sealing them with tape. These fragments were extremely light, and when placed in the boxes, they felt as if the boxes were empty when held in hand. His description of the fragments coincided perfectly with the descriptions provided by all other eyewitnesses of the Roswell incident. He also mentioned that there were several important individuals on the aircraft transporting the wreckage at that time. One was Lieutenant Colonel Jennings, the deputy commander of the 509th Bombardment Group in Roswell. Another was the operational commander of the 509th Bombardment Group, General Blanchard, who was the first to announce that the Air Force had captured a flying saucer. There was also Major Marcel, who was investigating the scene at the Roswell Ranch. These individuals first flew from Roswell to the 8th Air Force Base in Fort Worth, Texas. Waiting for them there was General Ramey, the commander of the 8th Air Force Base. They took photographs of the balloon in General Ramey's office, which led to the famous photo of General Ramey holding a memo. The memo instructed them to immediately transport the wreckage to the final destination, Wright Air Force Base. The bodies of the extraterrestrials were transported to Wright Air Force Base by another transport plane, a G-47. The interview with Robert Porter took place in the 1990s, and the individuals and locations mentioned in it align perfectly with the contents of the memo that surfaced in 2004. This further serves as strong validation of the authenticity of the Roswell incident. The key figures mentioned in the interview, following the Roswell incident, all received promotions. Lieutenant Colonel Jennings was reassigned a few months later to be Chief of Staff of the Air Task Group, at the 8th Air Force Headquarters in Fort Worth. Blanchard was appointed as the Director of Operations of the 8th Air Force Headquarters in Fort Worth and promoted to Vice Chief of Staff at the Washington, D.C. Air Force Headquarters in 1965. Major Marcel was transferred to the Atomic Energy Office of the Washington Strategic Air Command as Information Collection Officer. The rapid promotions of these key individuals involved in the incident are unimaginable. They were essentially elevated to higher positions in a very short time, even to the Air Force Headquarters in Washington, D.C. The purpose is quite clear. Those who know the most secrets must be placed in the most critical positions. After the wreckage from Roswell arrived at Hangar 18 in 1947, the U.S. Air War College, which trains military officers, sent a group of elite officers there for observation. As for why these officers were brought to view such classified information, it was because they were being trained to become intelligence officers with access to the highest secrets. By showing them such impactful material without prior notice, the intention was to make them aware of the significant threat it posed, its military implications, and the potential impact such intelligence could have on the American public. Among these officers was a man named Marion Magruder, who was a distinguished fighter pilot during World War II. After the visit, these officers were instructed to swear a strict oath of secrecy regarding everything they had witnessed, warning them of potential military court consequences if they disclosed any information. Magruder honored this oath for 50 years, keeping the secret even from his own family. It wasn't until the eve of his death in 1997 that he disclosed the information to his son before passing away. According to Magruder's son, his father saw the wreckage of a flying saucer at Hangar 18. It was made of an extremely pliable metal that could be bent by hand but would immediately return to its original shape, resembling a type of memory metal. Additionally, it was very lightweight and almost impossible to cut. They also saw several bodies of beings, among which one was still alive. This being resembled a child in stature, approximately 1 meter tall, but had a disproportionately large head, long arms, and 4 fingers on each hand. Magruder also told his son, "We killed him, although it wasn't intentional. This being was severely injured, and we had no way to help or revive him. We could only watch as he passed away." Very few individuals at Wright Air Force Base had access to the secrets of Hangar 18, including a typist named June Crane. Though she was a civilian employee, she was responsible for organizing UFO reports at that time, granting her access to all the secrets of Hangar 18 in the 1950s. Like others, she had taken an oath of secrecy. However, by 1997, at the age of 72, June decided to reveal this secret. She stated, "I am 72 years old. What can they do to me? Kill me? Throw me in jail? I don't care anymore." In fact, another reason these people came forward to disclose information is that the intelligence officers who supervised them back then are no longer alive. In 1997, Crane gave an interview and revealed many astonishing secrets.
Are these 3 crashes that you heard about while you worked at Wright-Patterson?
Well, one was the Roswell, and then there was 2 other ones.
So as of 1952, they knew about 3 crashes
right.
of vehicles that were probably extraterrestrial.
Right. And then the one where they brought the 2 men into Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and put them in the ice box. I didn't see it because nobody was allowed to see it.
Okay, when 2 little men...
He called them little green men. Then he described them as a greenish blue. And they were 4 foot tall, and they were dead.
And we're talking about non-humans.
Non-humans, right.
Firstly, before 1952, the United States experienced 3 UFO crash incidents. One was the Roswell incident, another was the Aztec incident, and the third remains unidentified. The wreckage and bodies of extraterrestrials from these 3 incidents were all transported to Hangar 18. At one point, there were as many as 30 extraterrestrial bodies in Hangar 18, all seemingly of the same species. These extraterrestrial bodies were then encased in cryogenic capsules and placed in an underground morgue within Hangar 18, maintained at a temperature of -120 degrees. If we say that Hangar 18 stored the wreckage of the Roswell incident's UFO and that the United States conducted reverse engineering on it for several decades, what exactly did the United States research and develop? Firstly, the Roswell UFO debris included an ultra-lightweight and incredibly durable memory alloy with a mesh-like pattern on its surface. Under an electron microscope, it was discovered that a thin piece was composed of 26 layers of metal, with several layers reaching the nanometer scale. This metal protected the structure of the UFO from damage and even preserved the life of an extraterrestrial being. Secondly, inside the UFO, researchers found an object resembling a laser pen that emitted a red light similar to a laser. According to studies, this object could be a surgical instrument or a weapon. It's worth noting that lasers were only invented in the 1960s, more than a decade after the Roswell incident. Is there a connection between these discoveries and the events that unfolded at Roswell? Another device found was a head-worn apparatus resembling a portable brain scanner, believed to be used for telepathic communication. It was a microcircuit-like device that integrated all the equipment on the UFO. It's important to note that the world's first integrated circuit didn't appear until 1959. There is still a significant gap between the most advanced integrated circuits today and fiber optic-like cable. Inside the UFO, there were almost no visible pipelines, but this fiber optic cable seemed capable of controlling the entire craft, even though the first fiber optic cable wasn't put into use until 1970. The most intriguing aspect of this extraterrestrial technology is likely the head-worn scanner, potentially a device for mind control, allowing one's consciousness to manipulate the body, achieving an effect akin to that seen in Avatar. This suggests that these extraterrestrial beings are essentially bio-robots controlled by a higher entity. Many reports from alleged autopsies of extraterrestrial bodies have mentioned their simple body structures. Lacking digestive organs, they are said to absorb nutrients through the pores of their skin. Lacking the intricate bodily structures of humans. This implies that the extraterrestrial beings who arrive on Earth from tens or even hundreds of light years away are bio-robots controlled by consciousness or mind. They all appear similar, possibly cloned or mass-produced. In the accidents they encountered during their exploration on Earth, at the moment of the crashes, they likely severed their connection with their original entities. The true extraterrestrial beings might be aboard a spacecraft not far from Earth or in some mysterious corner of the solar system, remotely controlling these bio-robots. After all, before humans explore the Moon and Mars, they typically launch probes, followed by astronaut landings. If you link these probes with these bio-robots, you can understand the connection between them. Even now, the Roswell incident remains shrouded in mystery, and there are still many enigmas left unsolved. Hopefully, one day the truth will come to light, revealing that we are not alone in the universe. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. And stay tuned for the next episode. See you next time.